Back at it, back at it, back at it. Let's run it up. Let's run it up. Alright, so usually I try to wait a few seconds before we really get going on it, but I want to jump right in. I won't be live too long, but let's take care of this disclaimer and this disclosure. So please note that the following is not legal or financial advice and is provided for informational and educational purposes only. Investing in securities carries a high degree of risk and can result in the loss of your entire investment. You should consult with a qualified financial advisor or legal professional before making any investment decisions. The information contained in this presentation does not constitute an offer or solicitation to buy or sell any securities or other financial instruments. Any opinions expressed in this presentation are subject to change without notice and should not be relied upon as a recommendation to buy or sell any securities. Please do your own due diligence and research before making any investment decisions. All right, Alex, really, thanks for coming through. Cody, the great Joe, I see y'all. We just took care of that disclaimer, so we want to do a trade recap and some back testing. Now, I want to just start off with some of the back testing and go over one of my favorite strategies. So I really back tested this a lot on SPY, and I just want to share it with y'all, get your feedback, see what y'all think. And so if you're new to my live, if you're new to Curtis G24, my TikTok is dedicated to options trading and specifically options trading for beginners. So if you're just getting your first steps, you're getting your footing with options trading, this is for you, for the beginners out there. So one of the strategies that I'm really proud of, I'm not going to say that I invented it, but it's just something that my eyes recognized when I was going through back testing, and I realized a certain strategy that I really like. And so basically, after doing a lot of back testing, I'll show y'all my back testing log right here. So I have this Excel sheet that's gone through all of these instances. If you look over here on the right hand side, you can see that I have almost 200 rows on this back testing log. So I went through almost 200 rows on this particular strategy that I want to show y'all. And it's basically a bullish engulfing strategy, but there is a very specific scenario that I used for this bullish engulfing strategy. Now, I want to give y'all the breakdown of the strategy first. Make sure that we're all on the same page. Make sure you guys understand, and then we can get into more details. But the first thing I want to let y'all know is my definition of a bullish engulfing is not the standard definition of a bullish engulfing, right? So the standard and formal definition of an engulfing is when on a candlestick, here we are, we're looking at SPY, 30-minute candles. The standard definition of an engulfing is when the price of the next candle, so we're looking at these two right here, we got this bearish one and we got this bullish one. The standard definition of an engulfing says, hey, if this candle price opens below where this one did, so down here somewhere, and it ends above, that's an engulfing. That's the formal definition. But that isn't my definition, and that isn't the way that I use it. So my definition of an engulfing is as long as the candle range in the bodies, not the wicks, just the bodies, as long as the candle range move further than the bearish one before it, or wider, if you will, I consider that to be an engulfing. So that's the first thing. My definition is slightly different. I consider this to be an engulfing, even though the price didn't open up below the bearish one. That's the first part of the strategy of the kind of candlestick pattern that I found. The second part of it is when this happens above a previous day high. So here we're currently looking at, this was Monday, August 19th. And if we go back to Friday, the high of Friday was down here. So when I see on the 30-minute chart a bullish engulfing, which is right here, right hand side of the screen, if I see a bullish engulfing that happens above the previous day high, there is an 80% chance that the very next candle is going to be bullish or a green candle. And so for me as a scalper, that's a trade that I'll take all day. Now, how can I back that up? Just as I was showing you, if you just joined my live, I went back over 200 instances and I back tested it. Well, not over, but about 200. You guys can see on my Excel sheet, almost 200 instances of looking for this exact setup. And then I set up a formula that will tell me what is the probability that it will be successful. And currently, with all the back testing that I've done, it has an 80% or 81, 82% success rate. So that right there is one of my favorite strategies. I'm not going to, I can't say that I created it, but kind of finding those factors have really worked out for me. So I'll just give you guys the long and short of it one more time. And if we want me to repeat what I was looking for, or how I did my backtesting log, you guys let me know. But the long and short of the strategy, and this is for scalpers, for people getting in and out on the 30-minute chart. If you see a bullish engulfing that happens above the previous day high on the 30-minute chart, there's an 80% chance that this candle is going to be green as well. So you can get in and out for scalps, buy you some calls, get in and out, don't stay too long, and get going. Now, one additional thing that you can add to this is to account for, we all know that 95, almost 99% of all candles are going to have some type of pullback, some downside wick. So what you could do is you could even wait a little bit more for the pullback to happen, get in your calls, and then catch that ride all the way up. What I also did on the backtesting log is I account for the pullback. Did I account for it here? Yes. So here I have a column where I go through, and I also included how much did the candle pull back. And so on all those instances, there's on average, at least for all the ones that I back tested, on average, there's at least a 20-cent pullback. So let me check the comments, make sure, see. What's up, Jada? What's going on? Philip Beckford, what's up? What's up? Hims, all right. Thoughts on cooler and load? We'll get to that in a moment. Let me just say, Spy Friday is going to be bloody. That's user 6815. Dorian Fitness, what's up? What's up? Let me see who the top viewers are right now. Okay, we got JWH119, Membas 100, Wizop, Fatima, Army Kid, user 8599516936205. So I wanted to share that with y'all. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the chat. How can I give you more clarification? If you want to know how I did my backtesting log, if you want to know more about the charts. But if you're just now coming through the live, I just want to let you guys know that that's the strategy. Memba says, how did you good today? I think you're saying, how did I do today? I did good. So I'll show y'all in the Discord. This is today. So if you're new to my live, I'm in California. I trade on West Coast time or California time. So for me, the market opens up at 6:30 a.m. At 6:37, I alerted to the Discord that I was getting into SPY calls for a scalp. There's where my order got filled. And then shortly after that, about 5 minutes later, I took profits. Now, just to let you guys know, I'm a very conservative trader. I typically aim for 5 to 10% profits on my scalps. If I'm scalping, I'm only going for 5 to 10%. Getting in and out. I'm not overstaying my welcome. I get going. But that was today. One and done, 5%. And I am happy with that. I don't need to go crazy. I'm not looking for some, wild home runs or anything like that. Of course, TradingView is going to always kind of mess up a little bit. So I got to reload the chart. But I just want to we can go over those two strategies. I want to go over the bullish engulfing strategy again for anybody that missed it, if you're just now joining. Or I can go over what I look for. So you just played SPY. That's about it. Yeah. Members 100. I usually do one and done. If my first trade of the day is a profitable trade, no matter how much money I made, whether I made a couple dollars, $100, whatever it is, I like to do one and dones and refresh. I don't want to open myself up to the possibility of giving the market back money. Now, I'll show you guys exactly how I did today. This is a super fast scalp. So if you've been on my live before, you've seen this. I am not the one who came up with this particular strategy I'm going to go over. It was taught to me by somewhat of a mentor. So I always like to give credit where credit is due. He's big on Twitter or X. His name is Charts or Floyd Williams. But for today's trade, I'll show you exactly how it goes. I'll give you guys the skeleton, the foundation. So all you do is on the 30-minute chart, and you can use any time frame that works for you. I use the 30-minute and the 7-minute. But on the 30-minute chart, for the pre-market, you want to chart out the pre-market low and the pre-market high. That's the first thing that you want to do. And then when the market opens up, we can barely see it because this was so tight. When the market opens up on that 30-minute chart, you want to mark out where did price open. Now, if you're a beginner trader, what you want to do is you want to wait for this first 30-minute candle to close. And then wherever it closes in relation to where price opened up at will give you an indication of where you want to get in and out of your trade. Remember, we're talking about scalping or just day trading, but at the most, you're not going to be in there like all day. We're talking about scalping and quick day trading. So you've marked out your pre-market high, you've marked out your pre-market low, And then you mark as soon as the market opens. Where did the market open at? You guys could barely see it, but there is a blue line right here. Once you've done that, you wait the 30 minutes and you see where does the candle close. We see that the first 30-minute candle closed below where the market opened. This is our indication to go ahead and get in some puts. And what did we see? Those puts worked out. And then you can set a PT for the pre-market low. So realistically, once price hit down here, you would have gotten out, took your profits, and went ahead about your day. And just like I was saying earlier, we all know the candles will have like the manipulation phase, the expansion phase. So you could wait a little bit for this pullback. That way you're giving yourself some breathing room on your risk management, enter your puts up here, and then just ride it all the way down. So that's how I traded today. Just basically an opening range breakout based off of the 30-minute chart. Now I'm going to zoom in because that's the overall. But if you're a little bit more experienced with trading, right? If you're not quite a beginner, but you're also not quite an expert, what I do is, let's just say I have a little bit of more confidence, or I know I'm just going to get in and out. We've charted out the 30-minute, right? We've charted out the 30-minute. But then what you can do is, we're going to go to split screen. I also will trade on the 7-minute. Now that's what helped me today. This is how I traded it today for myself. So now we got on the 7-minute chart down here, we've got on the 7-minute, the first candle closed above, which is right here, still kind of in the pre-market. But the reason why it's in this pre-market zone is because on the 7-minute chart, it starts off at 629. So it accounts for when the market opened. But remember, the market opened by that blue line. So this first 7-minute candle closed above the open. I went ahead and got in calls on this candle right here. It went up, it hit my profit target, and then I got out. But that's for more if you're kind of used to scalping, you know to be quick on it, you know not to hesitate, you're consistent, you're not greedy, you don't let your emotions take control. You could play it on the 7-minute. But if you are just starting out and you want to give yourself some more breathing room, just use the 30-minute chart and go based off of how the 30-minute plays out, right? So we saw on the 30-minute chart, it closed below the open, and that would give you indication to go ahead and take those puts. Boom, you'll be good. All right, let me tap in. Let me see if anybody left any comments. Yo, James, big shout out to you. Thank you for the follow. All right. Big True 777. Thank you for the likes. All right, let me see. Marsha, thank you for the follow. Josh Jenkins, thanks for coming through. Thank y'all for getting me up to 400 likes. Thank y'all. All right, let's see who's rocking with me. See, so Toby, I appreciate you. Carmen, Lily Billy, James Dukeshire, Ryan Bowl, Army Kid, On My Mama, FOMO, Mouse. All right. King Eldemeyer, Memo Lokes, Adrian G. So if you're just joining the live, or if you guys are just now coming through, if you want me to repeat any of that, just let me know. I want to make sure for the beginners out there that you all understand. So I went over two strategies. I went over my bullish engulfing strategy, and then I went over the opening range breakout strategy that was taught to me. If you want me to go over any one of these again, please put a 1 in the chat. Please put a 1 in the chat if you want me to go over any one of those again. Or we can go to some other ticker symbols, and I would let you know how I would have traded it if I was looking at that today. You know, it's very funny because I never imagined that I would be one of those traders that only trades 1 or 2 ticker symbols. But now with these 2 strategies that I have, I really just trade SPY, and it's been working out pretty well. All right, Big True put a 1 in the chat. Alex put a 1. We got a bunch of 1s. Cool. All right, so I'll jump into it again. Mousy says, you think SPY is going to go up? I try not even think about which way a market is going. I only go based off what it's literally doing in that moment in time, as closest to my time frame as possible. So we've got some 1s in the chat that want to go over the strategies again. So I'm really happy about that because I really don't mind doing whatever I can to give y'all value. So we'll start off with today's trade one more time, and then we're going to go over my bullish engulfing strategy. So y'all just rock with me. So here's today's trade. We'll do this one more time. What we want to do is each morning, and you can do this with any ticker symbol, but I usually just use SPY and QQQ because, as we all know, they're the most liquid and they've got the most contracts that, you know, you can get in the money that are relatively affordable, that are kind of cheap. The first thing you want to do is you want to mark out, or you want to start on a 30-minute chart. And on that 30-minute chart, you want to mark out the pre-market high and the pre-market low. How high did price go and how low did price go before the market opened? You don't have to use the 30-minute time frame. That's just my default setting. You can use the 1 hour. You can use whatever works for you. So after you mark out the pre-market low and the pre-market high, when the market opens, and it's very hard because today they were very, very close to each other, but when the market opens, you want to put a line, where did price open up at? So now that you've got those three levels drawn, the pre-market high, the pre-market low, and where price opened, then you want to wait. This is for the beginner traders, right? On your 30-minute chart, you want to wait for that first 30 minutes to pass by. And what do we see on this first 30-minute candle? Is that price closed below the open. And that's an indication that you want to get in and out on some puts, either as a scalp or as a day trade, but not all day, maybe within the next hour or so. So we see that price on this first candle closed below the open. This very next candle was bearish as well. You would get in to take your puts and then keep it going. Now, the dope thing about this strategy is if you want more confluence or you want more of a notation that it is going to be bearish, you can go ahead and add your EMAs or your VWAPs or whatever other indicators that you like just to give you more confidence. I'm just giving you guys the base skeleton structure of what was taught to me so that you can use that to help you. And that's all I've been trading. Mark the pre-market high, mark the pre-market low, and then you wait your 30 minutes. Where did it close? Did it close below the open? We're looking for puts. If it closed above the open, we're looking for calls. And then if you want help or if you want an idea of where you should put your price target, you typically want to target the other level, right? So we closed below the open. We would set a price target for the pre-market low. And we see, fortunately for today, price came down here. That would have been a good area to get out of your puts, take your profits and go. Of course, you still could have stayed in and caught more of this. But remember, we don't want to be greedy. We don't want to be greedy. We don't want to start setting behaviors where we're getting greedy. All right, so that is the opening range. User 5071927866306 says agree, but also use yesterday's closing price. I like that. I like that a lot. See? The one thing I really love about this opening range breakout strategy using the pre-market highs and pre-market lows is you have plenty of room to incorporate other things that will give you more confidence. So there's that one. Now I want to go back over the other one that I'm really, really proud of. And so the other strategy that I use, I don't use it every day because it doesn't happen every day, is what I call a bullish engulfing. So if you're just now joining my live, I'm going to give you guys my definition one more time. My definition of a bullish engulfing is slightly different than the formal definition. Now, the formal definition of an engulfing is, especially for a bullish engulfing, is when price on a candle starts below the previous one, this bearish one, and it ends above it, right? It basically engulfs. It basically eats that candle. Now, my definition is simply, did the body of this bullish candle go farther or wider than the body of this bearish one? So we can see that it did. Even though the price opened up above it, right? It didn't quite engulf the bottom, but the range of the body movement engulfs the range of this body movement. That's how I define an engulfing. So keep that in mind. Then the second part of the strategy is, did this occur? Did this engulfing right here that we see, this is from Monday, did this occur above the previous day high? And what we can see here on Friday, it did. Let me bring it over. We've got this bullish engulfing right here. It occurred above the previous day high. We know, or that we see from backtesting, that the candle that we would get in on, this one right here, the candle we would get in on, there is an 80% chance that the next one is going to be bullish. We have two instances right here. Look at that. Now I'll show you guys because I want to give you a little bit of transparency and proof. I've backtested this almost, if you look at my Excel sheet, almost 200 times. And I went through and I found that there is an 80% probability that that next candle on the 30-minute chart, there's an 80% probability that that next candle will be bullish. So I'm really, really proud of that, mainly because of how much backtesting I did. Let me go ahead and sort this. You guys can see. Basically, you can see from my date column over here that I went all the way back to 2023 with backtesting that. And I have all the times that I looked at all these different things. Was it above or below the previous day high? Above or below the previous day low? Above or below the previous day 50%? And so one other factor that I also included was on the candle that we enter in on the candle that you enter in on, how much of a pullback does that candle have? And on average, what I've seen with SPY is the candle has typically about a 20% pullback. So you can use that as a way of giving yourself a little bit of risk management. Instead of getting into the trade automatically, let's go back to the chart. Instead of getting into this trade automatically right here, you got to be on it though. You could wait for this pullback, this bottom wick to form a little bit, possibly enter maybe right around here, and now you can catch more of that ride up. Boom. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. We've got up to 2K likes. We're getting close to 2K likes. Thank y'all. We got 54 people rocking in here. Really appreciate that. Do we have any questions about those two? Travi Patty, do you think SPY and NVIDIA will go up tomorrow? What are your thoughts? I know this is going to be annoying, bro. I'm not trying to avoid any questions like that, but I'm at a stage now with my trading where I don't even think about, like, I try not to put my mind in terms of predicting. I really don't. I really try not to put my mind in terms of predicting. I just kind of go off price action. Now, I do realize that me answering that way is mainly because I'm a scalper, right? And typically my winning trades are 10 minutes or less. So for me, because I can, even if we have a super bearish day, you know, you might have a bullish moment like that where you could make money. Or even if we had a super bullish day, but you might have a bearish moment where you can make money. Me as a scalper, I try not to think about, or I try not to put my mind in a predictive mindset. So I wish I had more of a hypothesis or a bias for you, but I can't really say, man. I try not to even think like that anymore. I wish I could say, back when I was doing more swing trading, I would definitely try to open up a bias, right? We would go to this daily chart, something like that. We definitely have gaps down here that need to be closed. So who knows, it'll be, we've got on the daily chart some big gaps down here that need to close. It looks like today we definitely have this strong bearish day and prices wanting to push down. We are going into the weekend. Tomorrow is Friday. So we might have some of the market makers wanting to take profits going into the weekend. Those are the type of things that I used to kind of focus my mind on. And even though we have about an hour and 45 minutes with the market being open, I would have a bearish mindset for tomorrow. But then again, I'm not trying to tell you that SPY is going to go down. We could have a bearish day tomorrow, but price gaps up, right? Price might start up here and then end bearish, kind of like what we saw today. Price started up here and now it's bearish. So, all right. Yuli the one, what should I look out for? It depends. Are you an options trader? Big shout out to QMod Dukes. Thank you for the likes. We got a celebrity in the building. You the one, I'm just starting. What are the most important fundamentals? Supplements are us. Just gave you 4K likes, bro. Supplements are us. Thank you so much. Alex, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. Thank y'all for showing love, man. That means a whole lot to me. It means a whole lot. Funny random things. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that, guys. Appreciate that. So we have a question from one of the audience members about, I'm just starting. What are the most important fundamentals? All right. The most important things, if you're just now starting to options trade, right? The most important things that I think that you want, or if I was to start over on my journey to save myself a lot of stress and a lot of money, is to figure out what you need to have discipline and self-control. And I say that, I know it sounds cheesy. I know you might not want to hear that, but essentially, man, what I've learned in my journey so far is that all of these strategies work. And they all have instances where they don't work. We all know that, right? There's no strategy that's going to work 100% of the time. So you can trade EMAs, you can trade RSI, you can trade VWAP, you can trade the strat, you can trade ICT. All of these different strategies out there, there's unlimited amount of strategies. They all have some level of success. What's going to make the difference is how disciplined and consistent are you at doing the exact same thing every single day. No matter what the variables are, no matter what the factors are, how consistent are you at doing the exact same thing every day? So the first two things that I would give any beginner trader out there is get a trading journal, create a trading journal, and read the book Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas or any other book that'll help you with your psychology. Those would be the number one things that you would start with as a trader. You're going to find plenty of candlestick patterns, plenty of strategies, plenty of setups that do work. The only difference is how consistent are you? And they've done studies on this before. They've done studies where they've put two people side by side using the exact same strategy, and one person was extremely successful and the other trader was extremely not successful. And the only difference between the two was that one was consistent, was sticking to their stops, sticking to their setups, and the other one wasn't consistent. So I hope that helps you, man. I hope, and add a demo to that. Members 100 for sure. All right. JJ Wart Cuts 10. Thank you for the follow. So if you are new, if you are new to the chat, we went over 2 strategies today using SPY. We went over the opening range breakout strategy based off pre-market activity. And then we went over the bullish engulfing based off of the previous day high. That was what we did. Now, I showed SPY, but let's go ahead and look at a different ticker symbol to see how I would have traded it using those 2 strategies. And so just to give you guys a little bit of transparency, I put the screenshots in my Discord. I give the alert, show when I get in and when I get out, things like that. So all of my trades are all in here. Every single one, win, lose, or draw, everything like that. I put my analysis. I put my trading confirmations too at the end of each week. Put the trade confirmations. I put analysis, everything like that. All of that goes in here. But let's go back to the charts. Of course, TradingView is going to blow this up. Okay, let's go find a ticker symbol because I only traded SPY. That was the only thing I looked at. And let's go look at, let's say, Google. Let's just see how the strategy would have worked today on Google, which, I mean, SPY pretty much is a representation of the market. But we'll start off with Google. 30-minute chart. The first thing that we want to do is mark out where the pre-market high is. Here we go. We've got that pre-market high right there. And then we want our pre-market low. And I use the white lines for the pre-market highs and lows. So we get our pre-market low on Google right there. Let me make sure that looks good for y'all. Okay, so we're looking at Google 30-minute chart. We got our pre-market high, pre-market lows, and then we want to mark out where did price open up at. And then after that first 30 minutes, where did price close? We see after the first 30 minutes, price closed below. And so because it closed below the open, we would be indicated or we would be signaled to take puts. And our price target would be the pre-market low. And that's where you would get out. Boom. You could stay in, but remember, we don't want to be greedy. We just want to get our money, go, and don't make the market teach us a lesson. We just want to get going. All right. Alex says, how do you know what stock to pick for the day? That's a good question. I go based off of what I can afford. That's the closest in the money. And so typically I stick to the same ticker symbols now. And I was saying that earlier, I really never imagined before the past 2 months or whatever the case may be, that I would be the type of trader that would only trade the same ticker symbols, the same 1, 2, or 3. I used to have this watch list. I mean, I still have it, but this would be a watch list that I would go through every single day to find my setups. But now I really just look for how affordable are the contracts and is there a lot of liquidity? And as we all know, SPY, QQQ, Google, Amazon, Apple, those ticker symbols have the most liquidity. They have the most contracts. They typically have good contracts that are close to or in the money, that are affordable, where you're not going to break the bank trying to get into a trade. And the spreads aren't too wide. That's one thing I really, really like too. One thing I hate is when there's options contracts and the spreads are very wide, $10, $15, $20. That really makes me uncomfortable. So for me, where I'm at right now, my trading journey is I just stick to ticker symbols that have a whole lot of liquidity. There's a lot of volume. There's a lot of open interest. The spreads aren't wide. With SPY, the spreads are $1 to $2. So very thin spreads. And then we want them to be affordable at the money or in the money. So basically, and this is kind of on how much capital you have, but I want to be able to buy 2, 3, 4, 5 contracts that are in the money, right? But I typically trade with about 1,000 per trade, or maybe, give or take. I usually typically trade with about 1,000 per trade, just to show y'all. So if I can get, like yesterday, right? This was yesterday. I was able to get 5 contracts close to the money that was under 1,000. So that's how I determine which ticker symbols that I'm going to trade. And for the most part, SPY does that for me every single day. All right. Jesse Leo says, good info, bro. Follow Beginner Trader, and I'm enjoying the live for show. Whatever I can do, I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the follow. Whatever I can do to give value, you guys let me know. So we saw Google. Let's go through and find another one. We'll do, I'm trying to think. I want to see one that doesn't seem like it's going with the market. But the first one that came to my mind was Netflix. I probably shouldn't have. Let me go back because I changed the chart. Let's load up a Netflix chart. I don't even know the last time I even looked at Netflix. Okay, so here's Netflix. It's been so long since I've looked at Netflix. Let me turn off these. So we're going to go through it one more time with Netflix, just showing how I would have traded it or how you can do it with the strategy. Like I said, you can do this with any ticker symbol as long as you can afford the contracts or, the contracts work out for you. But here we are looking at Netflix on the 30-minute chart for today. We would have, this one's a little tricky. Remember, no strategy works 100% of the time. So we want to mark out the pre-market high. And just for the sake of just keeping this the live kind of seamless and not wasting too much time, I'm just going to eyeball it. So we've got the pre-market high right there. We see that, right? And then we want to go and get that pre-market low, which is right about here. Boom. Cool. Now what we see, we want to do is we want to get where did price open up at? And so price open, we're just doing a couple little eyeballs. This one was just a tough one. This is a tough one right here. This is a good example. So we've got Netflix, 30-minute chart, pre-market high, pre-market low. Then we marked out right here where the price opened at with a blue line. I know it's kind of hard to see on the live. Now, after the first 30 minutes, price closed above, right? Price closed above where it opened. Now, we would think on this candle right here, this would be our entry to take calls. Now, if you were sharp on it, you still could have made some money, even though this is a bearish candle. However, for new traders out there, this is what I would caution against. We would caution against getting into this trade because it already reached our potential profit target with this first candle. So you want to be aware of that, right? So the way that you're setting up PTs or price targets are, if it closed below the opening, your price target would be the pre-market low. Since it closed above the opening, the price target would be the pre-market high. But we see price had already traveled up there. So there was a good chance that there was going to be some pullback. And of course, that's what happened. So if that makes sense, you guys let me know. Drop a 1 in the chat if that makes sense on how we set those PTs, those price targets. Drop the 1 in the chat and let me know if that makes sense. So that would be a trade that I would caution against for a new trader. If you were waiting on the 30-minute and we saw that, okay, of course, the 30-minute closed, this first candle here, it closed above the opening. Our normal kind of bias or indication would be to take calls. If you were sharp on it, depending how you played it, you could have made money with this candle right here. This candle right here, but it overall ended bearish. And so we didn't want to put ourselves in a position to lose money. And the indication or the warning that would have prevented us or stopped us from getting in the trade was the fact that the price had already closed at our PT. So we would have just waited and waited for something else. Now what you could do is, where are we at? We can wait and see. Yeah, this is a little choppy. But something like, there's different ways you could play it, but this is a good one. This is a good example to show, because this still closed below. This closed below the not below, but this candle here on the 30-minute closed above the open, and then the next one was bullish, but now we're in this kind of like choppy zone. All right. Got 50 people rocking with this. So like we all know, no strategy works 100% of the time. But we do have guardrails with this particular strategy, and our guardrails are essentially our pre-market highs and pre-market lows. And they're guardrails because there are PTs. So once we saw the price already reached this price target, you don't want to try to force the trade unless you're going to be super on it with the scalps if you were looking to take calls. All right, let's do another one. Let's check out. Let's just see how Robinhood did. And we'll do it one more time and get into some questions. I'll check the chat, make sure I'm not missing questions from y'all. Thank y'all for the likes. We're getting close to 3K. Thank you. Let's do it one more time with Robinhood. Boom. You guys can tell that I haven't looked at these ticker symbols in a while because it has all my old kind of like indicators and setups on them. Okay, boom. So we're looking at Robinhood, another tricky one, another tricky one. So our first step is to mark out the pre-market high, which appears to be, we're just going to do a rough eyeball for the sake of keeping the live pretty seamless. And then we want to mark out our pre-market low, which would be right about here. This is a good one. I like this. And then we want to see, where did price open up at? We're looking at a 30-minute chart. And of course, you can use the time frame that works best for you. Price opened up right here. All right, oops, let's make that blue. Okay, so on this first 30-minute, and this is similar to what we saw for Netflix, this first 30-minute candle, even though it opened up, why is that still like that? Let's change this to blue. There we go. Okay, so even on this first 30-minute candle, hey Sam, what's going on? What's up, y'all? What's up? So even on this first 30-minute candle, what did we see? It reached that pre-market high price target. So that would have been a caution for you to be careful getting into that trade, especially for our beginners out there. Now, if you're a little bit more advanced, you could work something out, because we got this first 30-minute candle that closed above the opening, and you could have gotten in on this candle and made some money, right? You could have targeted this again. You could have targeted the pre-market high again, got in on some calls, scalped, made money, and got out of there. You don't want to be greedy. So this strategy really works more so for, like, depending on your time frame, you got to keep that in mind. So since I like to trade on the 30-minute time frame, is more so like a scalp. But if you up your time frame, of course, you could be in the trade longer. So just a quick recap, we're looking at Robinhood on the 30-minute chart. We marked out our pre-market highs, pre-market lows. We marked out where price opened up at. We saw that it originally went and hit our price target, which is the pre-market high. And if you did want to get in that trade, you would have got in on this candle right here. You could have kept this ride up, got some profits, and got out, but you need to be sharp. This is where you want to keep your emotions in check, and you don't want to be greedy. Yo, Laura, thanks for coming through. What's going on? What's up? All right, XY Noise. Do you use TradingView to only look at charts? What broker do you use to trade, and why? Yeah, so I do use TradingView to do all of my charting. Now, I primarily trade on Robinhood, but I also have Webull, and I also have Thinkorswim. I have connected Webull to my TradingView, and earlier this year, maybe about 2 months ago, Webull did announce that pretty soon you'll be able to do your options trading directly within the TradingView platform once you connect your account. So let me see if I can show y'all. Trading panel, and I wonder if it disconnected my broker, but I had Webull on here. Yeah, I think it disconnected it. But right now, primarily, I'm using Robinhood. I'm working my way slowly to put more of my money and most of my capital in Webull, because there's obviously certain things that Webull has that Robinhood doesn't have. But also my trading is very simple. So I'm kind of like in my comfort zone. So that's one area for me where I need to expand and I need to get out of my comfort zone. But to answer your question, 90% of my trades are in Robinhood. The other 5% is in Webull. And then the last 5% is in Thinkorswim. And I can show you guys that it's been a long time. But if we go to the Discord, it's been forever. These are all the Robinhood screenshots. Let me go back. Let's go back. Screenshots, Robinhood. So you guys can see primarily it's Robinhood. These are all every time I get into a trade, I let my Discord know, win, lose, or draw, whether I was profitable or I got stopped out. I put my trade confirmations in there. And it's been a long time. Jeez, it might be better for me just to log in to see when the last trade I did outside of Robinhood was. It has been a minute. There we go. All right, that's Webull right there. So it's been about about 3 months since I traded in Webull. I still have money over there. It's just the user interface and the seamlessness is just easier for me to navigate Robinhood, especially with my trading style. But I'm starting to get to a stage where I want to get out of there. This Webull, you guys can see Webull. So, I do trade in there a little bit. I just got to push myself to get out of my comfort zone and start putting more money over in Webull. There you go. But those are everything there. All right, bro, how can we learn step by step? You know, you've got two options, right? If you want to learn the strategy that I've been going over, that I've been trading primarily, at least over this past month, 2 months, there's two ways. You can join the Discord and we can go over it from there, or you can go directly to the person that taught me. I'm not a gatekeeper. Let me see. Give me just a second. So you can either join my Discord or you can go directly to the person that taught me. I'm not a gatekeeper. I don't hide any information. Lord, I'm not signed into Twitter on here, but I want to show you guys the person who taught me so you can get it straight from the OG, the originator. Let me see. Here he is. This person right here. OG. This is the OG person that taught me. Real good, down to earth dude. He's actually doing a presentation. He's doing a presentation this Saturday. So hit him up if you want to get the step by step from him. That's the OG who taught me right there the strategy that I use now. Real good, solid dude. He breaks it down so it's like the easiest thing you could possibly understand. You can ask him any questions, all that kind of stuff. So you got one option there, or you could come through and join the Discord. You guys already know where that link is at. So come through and rock with me. Of course, I'm going live more and more, setting up a daily schedule. You can ask me questions. You guys saw that I put all of my alerts, everything in here. Whether win, lose, or draw, no matter how the trade is, I put everything in here. And there's plenty of other things in the Discord too. So, or, you know, I know how it is. I know how it is, y'all. So, I know a lot of us have been in plenty of Discords. I know a lot of us are like, yo, you know, I don't want to go that route. I'm not trying to do all that. I want a different way. If you want, you could go to my YouTube channel, which is the same name, Curtis G24. And then I put all of my videos here, all of my trading recaps. So if you wanted the step-by-steps from previous trades that I did, you can go here. If you want the step-by-steps from my previous trades, if you wanted more of a free option, if you want more value from me, because that's my goal, is to give much more value, to give back to the trading world and the trading community. So if you wanted to see what I'm about, at least you can go through all of my videos, all of my previous lives. I put all the videos up on YouTube, and you can go see how I traded on all of these. All right. But it's been a dope live. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, don't hesitate to hit me up in the DMs, send me a message, or leave a comment on my videos. I got you. I'll respond. Sometimes it might take me just a little bit of time because I'm trying to, just stay on top of everything. But yeah, I appreciate it. And before we end, the number one thing I want everybody to do, if you haven't already, is to log your trades in your trading journal. If you did any trading today, make sure you log your trades in your trading journal. That's the number one ask that I have for all of you, especially if you are a beginner trader. If you're a new trader, please take the time to log your trades in your trading journal. Make sure you include what were your emotions, why did you take the trade, do you stick to your plan, did you stick to your setup? That's the number one thing that I have and that I ask of all of y'all. All right. What's up, Jazzy Thea? I believe that's how you pronounce it. Jazzy Thea, thank you for coming through. I appreciate you rocking with your boy. And so with that being said, like I said, you guys can come through the Discord, or if you want to get it straight from the OG that taught me, go find him on Twitter. Just let him know Curtis G sent you. I'm not getting any kickbacks or anything like that, but I just want to let everybody know that I'm not a gatekeeper and I give credit where credit is due. And so this is the one that taught me. That is his Twitter handle right there, at FloydWilliams46. All right. But with that being said, I'll tap in with y'all tomorrow or later today. All right. Peace.